Welcome to the next room. Yeah. Welcome to the next room. From the field on my way to the next room. Welcome to the next room.
Thank y'all for joining Next Row. Welcome. Today, I have an amazing guest, my buddy, my boy, my brother, played 12 years in the NFL, Mohamed Sanu.
What's great, everybody? What's good? What's good? Appreciate you having me on, V. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem, man. Hey, man, good to have you. Thanks for coming on. You know, anytime I need you, I know you're always going to pop up for me.
Anytime, brother.
I want to start this off. When I say 34-28 overtime victory, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I think that's what's going to happen this year in the Super Bowl.
When you hear it, but this is something from your past. 34-28 overtime victory.
Oh, you think about it? You talking about the Super Bowl we lost?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. What goes to your mind when you hear that, man? Like, you know, I've been there, obviously twice, Super Bowl 47, Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, tell me, like, what goes in your mind when you think back?
Well, you just think about the experience. It was, you know, once in a lifetime. One of those cool experience, even though it didn't go the outcome on it I wanted it to be, it was still like, you know, dream come true. It's something that I've always wanted to experience, playing the biggest game, biggest stage, in front of the biggest crowd against the best competition. So it's like, yeah, we didn't end up winning, and with you could look at it in so many different perspectives. Or we changed the new overtime rules, or we whatever you may be. Like, yeah, 28-3 is like, as a lot of people say, but it just, you're a part of a crazy story. You're just on the other side instead of being on the victorious side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I get that because I've been there twice, man. And at Super Bowl 47, we went in with expectations to win the game, but when we didn't pull it off after the fact, it's like, man,
it's just devastation. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what we live for. That's what we play the game for.
That's what you play the game for.
Exactly.
Like, I know a lot of people say it's like, yeah, you get it to get paid and all that stuff, but you would have achieved all that, right, with anything you did, with, you know, the skill set that God blessed you with, you know, the knowledge and, you know, the mental fortitude, the capacity to work, the work ethic. Like, you would have been successful in, you know, anything that you know, dedicated yourself to. But this is something that, you know, you dedicated yourself to achieving because, you know, it's not many people that have done it nor have accomplished it.
No, absolutely. And a lot of people know from a fan standpoint, but tell them what it's like to be a player down there at the Super Bowl. All those people, you got to stay focused.
What?
I mean, you got your kids.
Yeah.
What is that experience like for you as a football player?
It's a whirlwind. You got a lot of different things that are taken away from actually playing the game. Where it's like, you got to be able to have the ultimate focus. Like, you got to be able to turn it on and off and go from, you know, being that football player that everybody knows, the Mohamed Sanu or the Vernon Davis that everybody knows, to, you know, dad or, you know, brother or, you know, sister, or whatever, to like sibling to whoever you're close to. And you gotta be able to just exist and be where your feet are. And that's a tough thing when you're quote unquote playing the biggest game in your life. So it's like, you got a lot of different distractions that may take away from what you're trying to ultimately achieve, and you got to know how to balance that.
No, that's good. That's great. That's what you said, because I was the same way, man. Just, you know, knowing what the ultimate goal was and focusing on that, even though I had family and friends visiting. Also, I was traded. I want to get into the trade aspect of the game. I was traded from San Francisco to Denver in 2015. We were able to win Super Bowl 50. You were traded from Atlanta to the Patriots.
Yes, sir.
Second round pick.
Yes, sir.
What was that like for you?
That was a crazy, one of the unexpected, you know, changes in your career, where, you know, you're in a place where you're comfortable, you know the system, you know the ins and out of the organization, you know your routine, you have your everything is just in place. So, and then to be traded mid-season and dropped into a different organization that's already been gelling for some time now. And I mean, they were a competitor for many, many years. And now you got to try to adjust everything, your mindset, living situation, routine, and the knowledge of what you know in their system, and trying to gain that. It's tough. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, honestly, because it's just you go from literally one day being on the Falcons, the next Sunday you're on the Patriots, and it's like you're in a totally different city, totally different environment with totally different coaches and players that you don't necessarily, you know them, but you don't necessarily know them the way you know your previous team and teammates.
No, that's well said. Well said. But I need a Bill Belichick story, man. Well, tell me about Bill.
Man, Bill's an interesting dude, man.
Come on,
He's an interesting guy, man. He's just like, people, say what they say about him, but he is who he is, and he's always gonna be the same way to everybody. Like, I've seen him, mother F so many folks, and from top down. And I remember the second day actually I was there after I got traded. I'm walking by, getting early, try to go figure out what I'm doing and stuff like that. I'm walking by him in the hallway. It's just me and him in the hallway, and I'm just like, "Hey, good morning, coach." And he just continued to walk by and then moved and flinched, just kept walking. I'm just like, damn. All right. He just kept it moving. I'm like, I don't know what he was thinking about, what was going on, what type of focus or like month time he was on, but either he was not having it or he was just in a different place. And I was just like, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, Bill's a different guy, man. When I look at Bill, man, it seems like he has Botox in his face, man. His face don't move.
Don't move. It's just always resting,
same face, like a cartoon character. It's crazy.
It's resting Bill face.
Yeah. Going from ATL to New England, it was a culture shock.
It was just different. Like, Atlanta is more coach to player, player to coach, like communication type of thing, and there was just more instruction. Hey, this is what you're doing. This is how it's done. That's that. And there was a lot of meetings that Tom led, and he would always like us to get our walkthroughs in, which I really appreciated, because it made sense why they were just so good and always in sync, because they were always repetition. And all the starters, you take every single rep in practice. This ain't no like, you take 3 reps, you come out for 2, then you go back in for 3 more, you come out. Nah, there's 15 plays in that script, you taking all 15 of them.
Wow.
If the ball's meant for you to get it, you catching that ball.
Right.
So
there was you guys held yourself to a high standard.
High standard, and it makes sense why they were just so successful, and leads to that 34-28 story that you were talking about. Like, their capacity, the way they train, the way they prepare themselves, for whatever, however long. Teams don't necessarily do that on it throughout the entire season. A lot of teams taper off and they, pull back, and it can lead to injuries, but at the same time, if you know how to prepare your body and develop yourself to withstand that, you can be successful. That's why you see the Kansas City Chiefs, they are always successful, because the high reps and high volume practices they have. So it must be something to that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And going back, like, you had an opportunity to go play with 2 GOAT QBs. Right? Not one, but 2. And I know that feeling, because when I went from San Francisco, I played with Peyton Manning, not knocking Alex Smith. Alex Smith was a great quarterback. Kirk Cousins was a great quarterback, but Peyton Manning, we talking about a guy who's already in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
There's a difference between guys like that.
Totally different.
From what I saw, both in the locker room and on the field, like, Peyton Manning minimized himself. He you didn't even know he was in the locker room. He would step back. He would kind of be like, at the locker, letting all the guys have the scene. Because there's always guys in the locker room that want the attention. They want the scene, right?
No, of course. You know them guys.
Yeah, so he was a great leader by letting them have that, right? But on the field, he was like a general, man. He stood out like a sore thumb. What was your experience like? You were talking about the GOAT, the two GOAT QBs you had,
Bro,
man.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I had like three, honestly. Like, I mean, really good ones, like really, really good ones, because like I got to play with Matthew Stafford for a bit, Tom Brady, obviously, for a bit, but I wish I was able to, have time to develop chemistry. Like, it's tough just getting dropped in. We didn't really get to get in sync and get on the same page. I felt like we could have done really, really well together. And then, same thing with staff. But I was able to develop that time with Matt for real, which, I was able to showcase my skills, and because he was such an accurate, passer. So I was like, being able to get quarterbacks that had all, different skill sets were really, really, great at what they did. It was fun. And obviously Andy was really, really good quarterback. I mean, he threw the ball well, made plays, great leader. And just because he wasn't able to, get over that hump, which is tough. That's what they always, grade you on. But,
What's the biggest parallel mode between those QBs? Like, what is that between those? Because they all have something that's similar.
Yeah, that is just that, belief in their ability. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that ability is, they're not worried about what they can't do necessarily. They're worried and focused on their abilities, what they can do and how well they can do it. And how do I maximize my talent in order to be successful with the people that I'm surrounded by? And how do I get the best out of those guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I felt like Tom did, exceptionally well. Like, it didn't matter who was out there. He met them where they was at and helped them get to where he needed them to in order to get the results that he was looking for. And,
no, that's awesome. And do you have a regret? What's your biggest regret?
I mean, not being able to, develop the processes that I developed like later in my career, early in my career. Like, because like, and not having that ability to develop it. I mean, it took some time, but when it finally clicked, the clock wasn't long enough to do what you wanted to do. But I'm grateful because I learned what I learned, and now I'm able to instill it and teach it into, the next generation, and especially, my son, and he gets to benefit from the knowledge. But I would say, not being able to display the skills and knowledge that I've developed in the latter part of my career.
Mm-hmm. No, I can feel that. That's I think about all the regrets too, but my biggest regret would probably be some of the plays I didn't make in the. You know what I mean? And as receivers, Mo, you know how we are, bro. I was a tight end, but I was also a receiver. But y'all, I mean, it's like one of those things, man. It's like it's hard to shake.
Bro, you won't never leave it.
Yeah, my brother Vontae, he used to always talk about how he had to have a short memory.
Yes.
He got to leave it behind and come back. But for me, man, it's something I always hold on to. I wish I would have made that play. I wish I would have made this play.
That one, yeah.
That's one.
I talk about that sometimes with my nephew too. Like, they were like, "Damn, I wish I would have made that play. That would have helped me get to this amount of yards, or that amount. I would have had this amount of touchdowns." But like, those 2-3 misplays led to about 150 yards being off the table. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, damn. Or I wish I would have had a better ball in a situation.
Yeah.
Or I wish there was no pressure, or the times where you was wide open and they don't look your way. Like, that's the ones where you like, dang.
Man, I would. That's like the story of my life right there.
Maybe you're trying to get in this?
Oh, look at it. Oh, who is that, Mo?
That's my dog, Navy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that a golden doodle?
Yeah, he's a burner doodle.
Oh, burner doodle. Man, I need one of those dogs, man.
You want him? Say nah.
Oh, that's a
My
good-looking
dog.
dog,
My
bro.
dog. Yeah, he cool, man.
Yeah, that's a good-looking dog.
He cool. He got
And speaking of like, and Mo, to go back to like my son, I like the experience of having kids, right? Because I get to share those past moments with them. And, I just think about my kids and watching them, but I also think about like, what would it be like if I coached them? So for you, I know you have kids, you have a son that plays. Would you rather coach him or would you rather just watch him?
It just depends on like, cause I mean, when I coach him, I get to watch him. So it's like, what perspective am I watching them from? As a fan or a coach? Watching them as someone that's just helping them develop the skills that he wants to develop. So, like, I thrusted myself into the coaching role because I figured, like, with the information that I've learned and acquired over the past 24 years of playing football, like, I would I would be wasting it and not helping their quote unquote development if I'm just standing on the side while I can help these kids protect themselves. Because when, like, you know, they don't know the information that MJ or I don't know. So he's playing at a much higher level. And a lot of these kids are, still learning, you know, how to do the basic things in football. So they can't, quote unquote, protect themselves. And I need my son protected as well. So I figured I'm like, hey, they go teach these kids how to play the game so they can protect themselves and then get my son in this, safe environment, safe team. And last year I coached them. They went 6-4, went to the playoffs. This year we undefeated so far. So, it's just helping teach and develop and just let them gain that confidence.
Mhm.
Cut it out, man.
No, no, that's dope, man. I live vicariously through my kids, and I just
Mhm.
being though I'm not. Oh, this my little guy right here, Mo.
Hey,
This Rocky. Say what's up,
what
Rocky.
up, Rocky?
It's Rocky, the big cat Rocky. He's gonna jump down. All right.
ASAP.
Maine Coon, they get big. They say they get about 30 pounds.
Wow.
But being able to live vicariously through my kids has been a great thing, man. But I'm gonna tell you, stepping away from the game for me was tough at first because we've been playing this game forever, man.
Forever.
And the one thing that we never really know is how our future is gonna look. We got a feeling that it's gonna be good, but stepping away, I had anxiety, I had panic disorder, I had everything because I was just like the fear of the unknown of the future. Like
Yeah.
what was the hardest part for you stepping away from the game?
I say, a little bit of not knowing what was next, even though you kind of knew you planned, like you prepared yourself, but you still didn't know how it was just going to flow or how you were gonna just walk right into it, right? So, I mean, for me, it was just like, all right, like I know I'm destined to do something greater than football. And football was just like a stepping stone for me to really be a light or be, display my gifts and bless others with what God's blessed me with. So it's like, how can I best put myself in a position to do that? And the opportunity came with Legacy, and I felt like it was a perfect match because I've, invested myself to be able to get involved in that sports complex space. And I made the right connections throughout my career. And, meeting Dustin was kind of one of those like, hey, like let's work together and build something different and not done before, and better, bigger, and a legacy that is beyond what we've accomplished. And that's what we've been doing. And grateful we have someone like yourselves to be a partner and owner with us at Legacy, and we're trying to change the world in, you know, a major way. Like, I know you see how we developing that ecosystem for everybody to be able to have their families all under one roof at the same time, whether they're cultivating whatever skill set they need to develop, whether it's, training, health, wellness, recovery, anything across the board when it comes to sports.
Mhm. No, that's awesome. And now take me, let's pivot to your business ventures. I know you're a businessman. You've been doing business since you've been probably started when you were playing, which is brilliant because most guys don't really. I tell most guys all the time, I said, "Look, if it's something you want to do, you should start doing it now. That way, when you segue out of the game, then it makes it a lot easier to be able to maneuver." So you've been doing, but you have, I believe you have Legacy Sports Complex in
Yes,
Atlanta,
sir. Yes,
big
sir.
part of your life,
Hey, chill out, bro. We'll play later.
right?
You always want to play. But yes, I do. And then I like to. I've always wanted to be a serial entrepreneur and um, be involved in the things that I care about, I love, and um, just help grow and build, brands and businesses and different entities. So, I've you know diversified myself throughout my career, and you know, yeah, I got different investments like Legacy and Pathwater, Lumen, Adapt Water, and uh, Timber Five, and got different partnerships,
Mhm,
and entities like Bean Talk and things of that nature, and then developing new ones like Legacy Luxury, uh, sanitation company that I'm working on right now.
mhm.
So it's just trying to do a lot of things that can help better the environment, the community, and you know, just make my people great. Just try to instill that discipline that I've learned and developed, throughout my career and others.
No, that's dope, man. That's awesome. I know, and also that you have a foundation. Can you tell me about your foundation in Africa?
Yeah, so I'm right now. I'm partner with Develop Africa, working on building this community center in Sierra Leone, Freetown, West Africa. That's where my family's from. My mom um, is was an immigrant and now gained her citizenship, and I'm first generation born here in New Jersey. So but she's actually currently back there in Sierra Leone right now, and she's been working on this project for several years. But it's almost complete, and I'm beyond proud of her. She sent me videos of it the other day, and it's a massive, massive space, and it's a 3 level. I think it's 3 or 2 levels right now. Um, and it's down on first level will be like a storefront for people to you know sell their goods, have store property, because right now most people are on the streets or selling it
Mhm,
on a corner or corner on corner like a like a little bodega, but they want to have actual building to be able to sell their goods and grow a business. So my mom wanted to develop that for the community, and then she has a hall that she rents out for the community, and then a computer lab that she's building there for the kids and everyone in the community, because it's a lot of folks don't have access to the internet. So I think it's like less than 10%, if I'm
mhm,
not mistaken. But yeah, that'll be a big help to further those young kids' education. Because I mean, I wasn't so far off from being one of them if my mother didn't, take that leap of faith and have the courage to, venture out to America and, have, my sister and my brother, and I and my other sister here, and now we're, able to mm, accomplish things and create new dreams and
mhm.
build a legacy of our own.
Yeah. No, that's big, man. That's huge, man. I tell everyone giving back is a beautiful thing whenever you're able to, especially whenever you're able to have so much, to whom much is given, much is expected. And you
Yeah.
know that. And I've seen you in a few movies, Muhammad.
Yeah, my dog V has got me in a couple movies, man. Make sure y'all check out Message to Brianna. That's one of them 5 ones that I was in co-starring my dog here, Super V. So make sure y'all check that out.
Acting is one of those things that people don't know. Like you got to put it's one thing to be able to get a script in front of you and read it, but it's another thing to put attach your emotions to it.
Man,
Like, man, it's a tough one. It's a tough journey. But what made you want to get into this?
I just
Why?
love movies, man. Like so, I mean, growing up, Chris Tucker's my favorite actor, so I love watching, the Rush Hours, Fridays, Money Talks, and all his funny movies that he was, in. But I always say I'm a great mimicker, so I can see somebody do something and I can mimic them just like that, and
Mhm.
it's kind of funny because it's people like, oh, how do you sound like them? I'm like, I don't know, I just see what they do and I just quote unquote mimic them. So it's like
Mhm.
I just try to, I'm like, hey, well, maybe one day I'll get up in a couple movies. Um, Maybe want to, guest, one of those extras, quote unquote. But it's just, fun to be able to get in that space because you admire those um, tremendously talented actors to be able to immerse themselves in a role and become the person that, they're reading on a paper to be able to, that's a skill in itself to be able
Mhm.
to connect with those emotions and specific and feel the emotions through the words and display it through your body. That's a gift.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a gift, man, and I applaud you for taking that step and being vulnerable enough to open up. A lot of actors are scared to open up, and we also struggle with the question, "Who am I without the game?"
Hmm.
Right? Did you ever go through that moment yourself?
No, because I already kind of knew who I was. I just used football as, a stepping stone to what I actually wanted to become and who I'm becoming. Because I knew football was only gonna be this long in my life. Like I knew it was something that I could learn and be great at, but I knew it wasn't who I was as a person. Like, a lot of
Mhm.
people are like, "Oh, you're a football player." I'm like, "Nah, I'm just great at playing football." Like I'm just a skillful person that has talent to be able to do a lot of different things. And it's just I chose football because it was the thing I loved the most, and it was easy and fun. But a lot of people aren't able to comprehend their own gifts and be able to display it. And it's tough. It's not an easy journey to be able to learn yourself and learn your capabilities and have that constant belief in yourself.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for you, my man, because you're right. It's man, we know we could probably chat about so many different stories of guys that we played with
Yeah.
who are struggling extremely because they haven't found themselves. And the game of football is so small, man. Our life don't get started till after the game.
You
Like
know
we
that.
find out who we are after the game is all said and done,
That's like
right?
graduating college, you know what I'm saying? Graduating in like high school, quote unquote, or whatever, like now you gotta figure out life. Like like playing I mean, even though you was playing football and that was quote unquote life, yeah. But
Mhm,
you was living in a different vortex than everybody.
mhm.
Like we was in a different realm. Like we weren't doing the regular life, day to day things that you get accustomed to when you're not playing football anymore.
Mhm. No, that's right. So you've obviously done so much after the game of football. I mean, you're wearing so many different hats. You're an entrepreneur, you're creative. Um, I mean, how did you start building this new identity outside of the game of football?
Just one step at a time. Um, Praying, to the Almighty above, and knowing that He's gonna put me on the path that I'm supposed to be on. Like trusting Him, knowing like, all right, once one task here is complete, He has something next for me to do, and another journey, and He wants me to put my blessing and skills over here to help these group of people. That's all. It's just like being aware of what you're here to do and what you're supposed to do, and not thinking it's all about you, because that's where we get lost at. You thinking it's all about you, and no, it's about all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely is. Is there one thing that surprised you most about yourself when you stepped into your new chapter?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I was, surprised how it just seemed like I was what I was naturally supposed to be doing. If that makes sense. Like I thought I mean, not to say it's not hard. I just thought it would be like even harder, and it is hard. But I just thought it was just something that was just not gonna be what it is. Like, the answers, or like God put me in the right places. That's when it just opened my eyes even more and made me trust Him even more, and just continue to, give Him myself, if that makes sense.
Mm. No, that makes a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. I hear you. The game of football has taught us so much, and I tell everyone, especially the younger guys, and my son Gianni Davis is headed to University of Maryland. I
Mm,
mean, he's playing. I mean, the way he's playing is crazy right now. He's playing outside linebacker. He play H back, but He's playing like a totally different person. It makes me so proud to be able to see his growth and
when you see it, just click, huh?
yeah, it just clicked from last year to now. Totally different person. But I talk to him all the time about all the things that we were able to learn as a football player from just the different qualities, from resilience to just learning to be a leader, putting your teammates first, being selfless. All those different things can carry over to everything else. Have you, as you continue to head into your next role, are there some of the things that what are some of the things that you were able to take from the game of football and put it into what you're doing now in your next role?
Just like how you develop a routine, um, like you said, the resilience factor, the consistency factor, just how you carry yourself. Like you know that delayed gratification that you get from working, working for something for as long as you have. Like think about how long it took us to get to our destination, and we knew it
Mhm,
would take that long. So, like knowing that
mhm,
the field that you're in, you don't know the process. You don't know how long necessarily it's going to take. So you're just gonna go day by day, step by step, and
mhm,
be grateful for what's in front of you, and
mhm,
always see what God's leading you to. So it's no, it's just been really cool to be able to take those attributes that I learned in football, and you know, knowing how to prepare myself, knowing how to you know do diligent studies, and having to basically do thorough reports on, other opponents and things of that nature. So it just made you know how to be a little bit more cunning, a little bit, you know, faster, and your processing, and s- just help you develop a lot of, tangible skills that translate to the, business world.
mhm. No, that's dope. That's one thing you said, doing your due diligence on different I didn't start doing believe it or not, Mo, I didn't start doing my due diligence on players until maybe year 8
Mm.
in the NFL. I always thought that it didn't matter if I did research on the player or not, because I was so much better than whoever I was gonna face. So
Yeah.
it was like, I don't need to see him. I don't need to look him up, because once he lines up in front of me, it's over. I believed in myself that much that I didn't have to look at any of the defenders. But I wouldn't I wouldn't wish that, or I wouldn't recommend that to guys
For
playing the game,
most.
especially nowadays.
Not
But
everybody is you though. you're able to do that.
I'm sure you could have done that too, but I wish I would have done it your way early on, because what happens as we get older, we can't really rely on our bodies as much. We
Nope.
got to put our mind, because the game is all up here, man. Especially when you get older and things of that nature. But out of all of the projects that you're doing, I'm a pivot back over here. The projects, which one is your favorite project that you're working on now?
That's hard because
Out of all the things you're doing.
I feel like all of them are my favorite because I enjoy doing them all. Like it's all things that I have deep passion and care for. So it's like whenever I'm working on it, like I'm in it and I'm immersed in it and I'm giving it my all and I'm giving it my best. And then when the next project, so like when, like for instance, like the sports complex, like I love, you know, building, developing, and connecting, those necessarily dots, and putting the right processes in order, and just helping, develop something that's state of the art and cunning. And then the same thing with, putting together a sanitation company. Like I love putting together the pieces, developing everything, you know. Same thing that goes with path order. I love the meetings, love connecting the dots and talking to the different CEOs and different investors, and it's just relationships and like meeting solid people, and it, I enjoy it all. And I've met so many like salt of the earth people, like people you want to you know have in your corner, people you want to know, and I'm like grateful for that.
Mhm, mhm. Was there ever a real moment outside of the game of football where you thought, "Hey, this is something that I can succeed in?" Just like playing wide receiver, like that you looked at it and you said, "I can do this. This is me all day."
Yeah, is everything that I you know jump feet first into, like you know like the Monarch Judge Machine, like getting investing in those things. Like I just knew like man, I could help this become what it needs to be, or I can help it um blow up, because I know a thing or two about what it may be missing or things of that nature. I have a creative mind to develop something that's never been done, and you know, I can help them open their eyes to another profit center, like things of that nature. Just having that ability to just be open minded and not being confined in a quote unquote box.
Mhm. No, that's awesome, man. I had a dream about you the other night, man. I don't know what it was that came to my mind. You opened up like 10 Japanese steakhouses. It was crazy. It was a it was
How
a
I love Japanese food, God.
Hey, man, it was a random dream I had, bro. I forgot to tell you about it, man. I ain't want to bother. I said, I'm gonna tell him when I get on this call. We had
That's
like 10
fine.
Japanese steak. I don't know where we were, bro. I don't know where we were, but you had it booming, man. It was like people coming in and out.
Hey, we finna open them there. Shit, you speaking into existence. You talking, we do it. God put it in your mind to talk about, we gonna do it.
Hey, how do you decide which opportunities? Well, how do you decide which opportunities to pursue in this chapter of your life?
It's that gut feeling, like that gut
Mm,
feeling. You feel it, you do
right.
your due diligence, and you be like, nah, that ain't it for me right now. Or I'm gonna be like, yeah, I gotta get involved in that. Like, um, I just see what type of synergy I have. Um, I try to pride myself on having, pretty good discernment and just seeing what can flow or coexist with whatever I have going on currently, and how
Mm,
I can be a value to what they have going on.
mm. What is the gut? I know you talked about the gut feeling. What is
Hmm?
for those listening? There's a lot of young guys who don't even know what the gut feeling is. So what is that? What is the gut feeling? What is that? Where does that come from? What does that do?
It's just that compass that you have inside that tells you what feels right and what feels wrong, or what doesn't necessarily gel with you, or it's just that little person on your shoulder be like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea, or man, I think you should do it, type of thing. And also praying. Like I try to pray a lot and see, like God, put me on a path, or put this in my path if it's meant for me. And if it's not, like, it's no hard feelings, no harm, no foul. Like, I wish you got the best, but there's certain things that I don't necessarily understand, and I don't get involved with. There's other things that I'm all about and makes a lot of sense to me that I'm all for. So I just try to, like you said, that notion that tells you, yeah, this is for me.
No, that's amazing, man. I like that. And I like to think of it, Mo, as like, you know how as we get older, we gain more wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things subconsciously that's on our mind and our hearts and in our emotions that we discover, but we can't tap into what that was or what it is. So that gut is there to remind us of the things that we've experienced. So when we see something that's wrong or something that's like off and not right, when our gut is talking to us, all it is just picking up on those things that we can't even think about or process.
That's right.
All it is. But sometimes we go against it and we be like, it's just my gut. But we think that our gut don't know. But all it is just that feeling of things we saw that we can't really pick up on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that it came to me. And I was like, that's what the gut is, bro.
That's what the gut is, bro.
What the gut is trickling down from our mind, our heart, our emotion, and is going into our stomach.
Yeah.
But it's up to us to pay attention to it or not.
That's after we done digested the information.
Exactly. We've seen it, but our gut is talking to it. We don't even know where it's coming from.
We don't know where it's coming from. Yeah.
Don't even know where it's coming from, but it's right. What advice would you leave with younger players out there trying to become the next Mohamed Sanu?
I would say, make sure you make the main thing the main thing. Always surround yourself around, great people that would always kick it to you straight. Make sure you have people that are gonna keep it a buck with you, and then always have a process for yourself, right? Like, there's always a routine, there's always a process, and like, in order to accomplish something, there's a step-by-step process that you can go to completing it. Like, you just don't start with a bike together. You gotta put, the wheels on, put the chain on, put the hand on, all the things. So it's go by a step by step to put your quote unquote bike together, your car together, piece by piece, so it can run the way we needed to run for the 17, 18 game season that you're about to endure.
No, I love that. And as we close, Mo, we get ready to close. I got two more things for you. What do you, as far as your legacy goes both on and off the field? What do you want people to remember you as? When they think about you, how do you want them to remember you?
I just want to remember me as a real dude that always, keep it real. Like, I just always try to lead with, like, love and be graceful towards everybody. So I just want them to know it's always authentic when you meet or you're around me.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Mo, real quick before you go. I was gonna do a rapid fire with you, but you got to give me this real quick. I know you've been in the studio, bro, because I got something right here. Hold, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. King Bing, and you know that I mean, yeah, I come in that red Lamborghini, yeah, go over 24s, maybe 26, I don't know, and let that shit go, got the T
That's what up.
Yeah, that shit down when it goes,
That's
yeah,
what Sean had me in there.
In a passenger, but
Okay, bro.
It sounded fire without.
Yeah, my dog. Okay.
Yeah, young Beam and the Lamborghini.
Hey, Mo, give me something real quick on the spot. Give me something to rap that goes with next row. Give me like a flow. Give me like a 10-second flow with next row. Something quick.
All right, let me think real quick, cause dang, I ain't been on my quote unquote freestyling.
I'm never getting old. I'm here, about to go into my next role. I'm searching through my mind, looking at all my goals.
Yeah, as the wisdom grows, I invest my mind into my next role. You like that one?
Ooh, I like that. That's cool. I like that. Hey, Mo, I want to say, man, dude, I appreciate you, bro. You've been a blast. I'm sure people are going to love listening to you, your insight, everything that you've been. I mean, you are, I mean, I mean, what you done, man. You made a name and you continue to make a name for yourself. So I appreciate you, bro. Wishing you nothing but love. Thank you for coming on Next Row, bro.
Of course, bro. Appreciate you having me on Next Roll. And I keep that thing rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right, Mo. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, dog. Appreciate you,
All right.
man.
All
Peace.
right. Well.
Welcome to the next row.